What's up to all my fight fans? So I want to talk to you guys about something today. In earlier videos, I was of course hyping and talking your ear off about Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. What about a fight that I feel is actually potentially much bigger than that fight? Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. What's going on? You know, I believe Errol Spence recently came back against Ugas, and then we remember Terence Crawford went against Sean Porter and had that great knockout. So now everything's kind of going silent. Everything's kind of going a little more under the radar, and I'm just asking what's happening. What's going on? What's the holdup? Why is this fight not announced? I get it. We're still early in the summer, and I know there was talks about it being in the fall, possibly October or November. But even still, guys, come on. Like, it really is not that complicated. This is something I've been talking to you guys about when it comes to Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, promotions and, attitudes. Honestly, it could be that. It could be a potential that, but then I believe that it's not 100% that. I believe a part of it is now the fighters. I believe it's actually in this case, it might potentially be the fighters because I've been hearing talks about one fighter wanting more money than the other, and one feels deserving of the other. One should be a 60-40 split, the other one should be at 80-20 split. And I've been hearing about all these splits about who deserves what. And it's like, guys, if that's the case, let's just fucking settle it. Let's stop with this shit. Let's just make it a fucking even 50-50 fight. You both deserve it. This ain't, at first, maybe years ago when this fight was mentioned. I believe it was mentioned 2 years ago, possibly even longer. They wanted a 50-50, and I know Errol Spence wanted more money at that time. And I believe he did deserve it at that time. I believe he did because Terence wasn't fighting a whole bunch of much more known names within the welterweight division when he first came over. But now with the names that he has on his record, such as stars like Kell Brook, Amir Khan, Sean Porter, and whatnot, I feel like, yeah, he has finally earned that right as a 50-50 split. And he does he is once an undisputed champion in a different division. He has held championship belts in multiple divisions as well. So, Terence Crawford is just not some unknown fighter. He is definitely a high caliber, where a lot of people actually have him on the top of their pound per pound list over Canelo in some cases. So yeah, I'm just like, guys, if this is the case, please, let's make this fight happen. Let's see who is the pound for pound best fighter in the world. Let's see who is the number one. Both of you are undefeated. Both of you are on the top of your game. Of course, we know about Errol Spence having that unfortunate car crash and coming back against Ugas, and he looked sharp. He looked dominant. I mean, it's hard to look that good against a very technical fighter in like Ugas. We saw what he was able to do in Manny Pacquiao. Granted, Manny Pacquiao was much more older and such, but still, after a long layoff, after a horrific accident that Errol Spence had, coming back and looking as good as he did, I mean, guys, the time is now. 50-50. That's it. You get 50-50, I get 50-50. Let's have a rematch clause. Whoever wins that rematch obviously gets a bigger piece of the pie. It could be a 60-40 hell, it could be even a 70-30. Dude, we can see these guys fight each other 3 times. We missed those epic trilogies. That trilogy that we had with Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward. The trilogies with Eric Morales and Manny Pacquiao. The part 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Juan Manuel Marquez and Manny Pacquiao. Just the list goes on and on and on of great battles, of great wars. And that's something we could have here as well. Because these two guys, it's like, it's really, really It reminds me so much of course, the Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather, where a lot of people weren't 100% sure who was going to win what. And this is that too. You know, Errol Spence has his technique, his skill, and how much he's achieved. Same thing for Terence Crawford. He has the exact same. There really is no like, oh, this is 100% for sure. Errol Spence going to win. 100% for sure. Terence Crawford's going to win. There's none of that. It's literally half, and that's what this fight, and that's what the cut, and that's what the split should be. Half, if that's the case, and that's what's taking so long for this fight to happen. Because at the end of the day, just like I mentioned with Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, these guys need each other. I'm sorry, but these guys definitely need each other. Unless some miraculous way you got Errol Spence or Terence Crawford moving up in weight and possibly want to challenge Canelo or Triple G or somebody else in a much higher weight class and challenging their skills and techniques and such, then I could see them possibly doing that down the line. But until then, they definitely need each other. Otherwise, it's always going to be on record showing that maybe one ducked the other. And you won't ever have that credit of being a Shane Mosley, a Floyd Mayweather, a Sugar Ray Leonard, a Oscar De La Hoya, of showing that you fought the best. You fought the very best. Because there's always that one guy. Right now, you guys retire and be like, well, how come you didn't fight him? How come you didn't fight him? It's always going to be that. Always. And, you know, I get it what's going on with, you know, athletes, money. They need that money. It's all about that money. But I'm telling you, I promise you guys, money will disappear. It's not going to be remembered. Nobody's going to remember how much you made in this fight. No one's going to care if you made 40, 50, 60, 100 fucking $1 million. No one's going to give a shit. In 10 years from now. They're not even going to care. Pay-per-view buys, again, no one's going to care. I promise you. Nobody to this day, without looking it up on their phone, on the internet, asking a friend, can tell me what exactly the pay-per-view buys were for Manny Pacquiao Mayweather or Mayweather De La Hoya. Why? Because nobody cares. We care about the fight. We care about the best fighting the best, and that's what these guys are. He is the best. He is the best. Both undefeated. Both on top of their games. Both looking super great, super amazing. Time is now. Let's not have another Mayweather-Pacquiao situation where we get this fight years down the line. Because we've seen what happened there. We've seen what happened there. It was a very, very disappointing fight. And not just because Mayweather was so good or Manny Pacquiao was hurt, because it was, again, later in their careers. Especially for Manny Pacquiao. You know, and we could get into that. We could talk all day regarding all that stuff. But the point is, look at what happened there. Look at the disappointment that fight gave us. And just do not repeat that. Do not. So please, I hope soon this fight gets made. This is a very important fight for boxing. Boxing needs this fight. They deserve it. They both should get paid. They both should have their recognition for being the very best on the top of their division. 100%. Let me know what you guys think in the video. Let me know what you guys think, what these guys should do. Who deserves more? Who deserves less? Who is better than the other? And when do you think this fight is going to take place? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.